It's exactly 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. Look at me rushing 2 hours ahead. And you're listening to Kaya Biz here on Kaya 959. Well, as you're well aware, lots that we've been discussing really focused on the environment, focused on entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, especially those within the township sector, right? Huge numbers that come out of that particular space, not only from South Africa, but from a continental point of view. And it is an opportunity that we all need to tap into because, truth be told, we're all part of that ecosystem. So join us as we're going to deep dive into an innovative solution that really works to benefit not only township-based entrepreneurs, but many of their partners, suppliers, and of course, key participants within our local economy.
This Thrive know-how feature is powered by Standard Bank. Thrive, your all-in-one app to power your sales.
Oh, you can sense the excitement, right? And even the name itself says it, Thrive. This is exactly what we're going to talk about, how it is that Standard Bank has launched this phenomenal campaign and, of course, participation to support township-based entrepreneurs. To tell us more, we joined in studio by Khetha Mazibuko, who's the CEO and founder of Standard Bank Thrive, coupled with Marianne Chen, who is head of product of Thrive, joining us in studio this evening. Such a pleasure to have you both.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, as you might have heard, most of our conversations this evening have really been centered around entrepreneurship, right? What's happening in the retail space, how it is that we're developing entrepreneurs to create and produce innovative solutions. But at the end of the day, all of this needs to build, support and grow the business to make sure that by the time we get the product or service as customers, we're quite content. But give us a refresh as to what Thrive is about and how it uses stats, data, information to essentially make it so much easier for entrepreneurs to unlock capital.
Absolutely. Yeah, Gugu, I mean, as you've been discussing on the show, the economy, the township economy especially, and we refer to it as the main market because it is the bigger part of the retail economy in South Africa and across the continent. So if you look at stats across beverages, across food and carbs, over 52% of groceries that are sold are actually sold through spaza shops. And if you look at then the tavern market as well, a significant portion of beverages is sold through that tavern trade.
Huge.
So it's very much the main market, and that's how we see it, and that's how we refer to it. And I think these entrepreneurs are hardworking. They move volumes of stock, and they employ. I mean, the stats have been out now for a while. About 17% of South Africans are employed through spaza shops and taverns. So it's a massive employer of South Africans. And I think what we saw as an opportunity, and I've been at Standard Bank for a number of years working with retailers, FMCG companies, was the difference between the formal economy and the main market is technology and software.
Got you.
That's the key difference, really. If you look at a trader that operates a tavern or a spaza in Soweto versus a franchise owner, is that they'll have a till point, they'll be able to have card payments, they'll have stock management, they'll have terms with their suppliers, and all of that is based on the fact that they have technology that's allowing them to operate the business. And what we saw as we walked, the streets, and I grew up in the townships, you see this, that there's no technology. People are cash-based.
True.
I mean, stock is counted by looking at it. And so the opportunity with Thrive was to create that intelligence and put it in the hands of the entrepreneur on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's what Thrive is. It's retail software that allows stores to thrive. It's everything from stock management to taking card payments to paying your suppliers so that ultimately the store runs. And that's what we do.
And that's huge, Khetha, right? Just in terms of the time that it saves, the knowledge and information and the data that it provides, right, to the township entrepreneur. I'm keen to understand how seamless this all is because we know entrepreneurs often lack one thing. Time.
Exactly.
And going through all of that and managing those processes can be quite time consuming.
Exactly.
How has Thrive made this efficient and easy to work through?
I mean, I think this is what I find invigorating about working in the space is that actually our customer, the business owner, is extremely demanding.
Yeah.
It's thin margins, it's no time, as you've mentioned. And so when it comes to requirements of software, I mean, we get this question all the time where it's like, we've built an app, but who's using an app? And we say, you should meet our customers. When we started, it was actually around, let's help you pay your suppliers so you get your stock. They came up with requirements around, well, I need stock management. I need to manage my cashiers. I need to know, and Marianne will speak to this, and as head of product, this is I talk to them and tell her this is what the customers need, and she has to build it. So things like our end of day report, which we've got available on our point of sale, that gives you a view of, well, how has your store performed? What are your top selling items? And that's what Marianne has had to develop. But it's essentially that our customers are, it's a peak business between Thursday and Sunday mainly. So it's time crunch. You've got sort of Monday and Tuesday to get your stock back in the store, and so you need a software that's going to work as hard as they do, and that's what we've had to do, is to go beyond the traditional thinking of like, let's give you a card machine, but let's give you software on a card machine
to support you.
And that's been the development. But Marianne, I don't know if you want to, she can speak to.
And do elaborate even further, Marianne, because I can imagine, we talk about this main market, and I love that refreshing perspective on this particular space of the economy, but it's not all singular, right? You have chisanyamas, you've got hairdressers, you've got entertainers. It's a myriad and a plethora really of individuals in different spaces. How does this software, as bespoke as it is for these individual businesses, still, I guess, streamline the level of activity, especially for entrepreneurs who might wear multiple hats within the operations they run?
So I think it was very important for us to co-create the solution with the users and not only apply what we think they want. So we really worked with the different business owners to come up with what is the minimal product that they want to help solve the biggest pain point right now.
Gotcha.
And we started that as a foundation. And then over time, as we iterate, as we go back and get feedback, that's how we started adding more and more features and improvements on it. But we never go out with a feature without getting that confirmation from our users.
Got you. In terms of generational changes, I'm keen to understand, because whenever we think technology and you think this puzzle shop owner, you think, whoop, the grandchild needs to help grandpa here. But how effective has it been, I guess, in terms of the ease of use of this particular platform?
So I think one of the first things to consider is that, in as much as we were designing around the store owner, is that obviously they service the customer.
Yes.
And so we had to also think, what's easy if we want people to not use cash as an example, so that things are seamless, well, that you got to appeal to the customer to then walk in and take out a card and feel confident that, right there in their local community, they can spend and nothing's going to happen to their card, and give people that confidence. So we had to start with that. And obviously, coming from Standard Bank, there's a lot of heritage we have in that space, so that helps to give people that confidence that this is a solution coming from a bank, and so I can take out my card and spend, and it works. So you can't tap multiple times, etc. So that was the first thing, to give the shopper that confidence that pay with the card. And we've seen, and again, Mamakhai mentioned around what the impact of COVID, people were very, I remember when we started, like, cards in townships, so you guys sure people have cards? Well, surprise, surprise. I mean, the phenomenal growth that we've seen in card payments, and, a lot of our store owners will tell you that they were 100% card-based, and now probably 40% of their sales are in cash, and the rest of it is all card and therefore cashless, and so we've enabled that impact where shoppers are comfortable to tap their cards. The store owner has money immediately then available, and they can then use the app to then pay their different suppliers.
Huge.
So that's the journey of kind of creating technology that is impactful at a community level, where it's the store owner and the people that buy there have the benefit of that technology.
Definitely. In a moment, I do want you to share some contact details. I can imagine how many entrepreneurs might be listening thinking, that's exactly the solution I need. Where have they been all my life? But there is a phenomenal aspect as well to this, which is the stock advance aspect to the conversation that we're having today. And this is critical. It's new, it's refreshing, and I'm keen for you to give us some insight as to why it matters, Marianne.
Well, I think it's, if you look at your formal retails, your Pick and Pay, your franchises, is that they have advance, so they're not limited by cash on hand, which isn't always applicable to our main market business owners who are limited by cash on hand. And that's why they can't grow as quickly or as fast as your franchises that you see. Having that advance means that they're not limited by that. They are able to stock up with a seasonal coming up, which what we're seeing now with Black Friday, with the Soccer World Cup, with the first Christmas that we're not in lockdown.
Thank goodness.
So having that sort of cash capital for them to stock up for those seasons means that it allows them to grow and actually get that revenue. So I think it is important. It will help them to grow their businesses. It is something that we're very, very excited about, and we are prepared to get that in the next 2 weeks before Black Friday.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. And let's speak to those entrepreneurs who might want to be in touch. We have about a minute before we have to wrap up. So, Khetha, I can imagine entrepreneurs of all spheres and spaces within the main economy that you spoke about. How do they reach out? How do they make sure that they are, I guess, fully equipped to join the Thrive community, if I can refer to it as such?
Absolutely. So I think that one of the easiest places is to find us online at thrive.trade. So you can find us there, as well as on social media at thrive.trade. We also have, I think one of the great things that has come out of this year and lockdown is that we launched a know-how program where it was basically a skills lab where we got successful traders in the community to teach other traders. And so those know-how events, we road shows, so we'll be kicking those off again in the new year. And so that's also another way to reach us through our different know-how events. But get a hold of us on thrive.trade. That's the simplest way to contact any one of us.
Got you. Thrive.trade. That's the best way to get in touch. And of course, really unlocking opportunities to allow members of the main economy to thrive. Using data, providing insight, allowing you to unlock capital, have sufficient stock, and overall just make your business better.
Exactly.
As has been described. I'm looking forward to hearing more about this in the days to come, but really appreciative of your time this evening, both to Marianne Chen, who is head of product at Thrive, and of course, Khetha Mazibuko, CEO and founder of Thrive. Thank you so much both for joining us this evening. And of course, to any of you who need a reminder, do remember that you can log on to get more details at thrive.trade. Now, do be sure to join the Thrive team as they bring you Thrive in the Mix. That's a DJ playoff hosted by Linda Mukwetsi at the Lakes Pub and Restaurant in Soshanguve on the 12th of November. Next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Remember that if you're a small business owner, you can get yourself a Thrive app powered by Standard Bank, and this will allow you to pay your suppliers, get paid, and do much more to help you in terms of the app and, of course, making sure that you are able to buy any accompanying products. So do businesses on the move thrive? Well, make sure that you find out at thrive.trade or thrive_ on Instagram. It's been an absolute pleasure unlocking potential in businesses and hearing from the both of you about the potential that exists. And to you as the entrepreneur, make sure that you do the right thing and, of course, partner with institutions like Thrive to make sure that your business does exactly that.